Conversate for a few.
Welcome to the next episode of Conversate for a Few. I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This is not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely is not. This is a podcast about hip hop. What we doing today, bruh?
You already know. Greatest hip hop rollout to date.
To date.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm with that. So
it's so much has went on. Like, pick a place to start. We can start with the very first.
Alright, so let's start since okay.
Alright.
This year, in my opinion, is gonna rank up there with 96. I'm gonna start there.
I'm thinking It Was Written, thinking of Reasonable Doubt, thinking of Fugees The Score.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking so I can follow.
Right. So we got Cole already. We got Ye. We got a masterpiece from Vince Staples. We're gonna get Drake. We're gonna get Kendrick. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
but in '96, I can't remember none of them albums dropping other than the fact that I knew they were gonna come out. You know what I mean? There wasn't any real rollout around It Was Written. There wasn't any real rollout around the Fugees album.
Right.
Other than dropping a single or something like that.
A single and maybe like an ad in the source.
Something like that.
Just a simple ad saying it's coming. That was it.
Right. And Cole's album, I mean, he did, he went and played basketball in Africa. You know what I mean? Like, he dropped the sneaker, you know what I mean? And the album was fire. But Cole ain't big on rollouts. And his rollout was a lot more subtle. Even with Revenge of the Dreamers. It was an immaculate rollout.
It was.
You know what I mean? But it was still more subtle. It was more art. It was, I would definitely won't say artistically done. It was more centered around creating music.
Yeah, with the invitations, having all the artists that would be part of the of the project.
It was almost like crowdsourcing a rollout. You know what I mean? So that was a dope one. Extremely fire. I think that I would put up there to date. But I only said that 96 in juxtaposed to the magnitude of what we saying. You see what I'm saying? Is how 96, in our opinion, is gonna go down in history. I feel like this year go down in history. But one of the cherries on the top of this year, I think, is gonna be the way Kanye rolled out Donda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is funny when you say it, because there's some people that maybe love the rollout, some people that want to literally beat him for the rollout.
Absolutely.
But if you know, we talked about the evil genius of Kanye. So if you know understand the evil genius of how Kanye works, that's exactly where he wanted to be polarizing.
This is the point.
Because it garners talk and attention around the art you're creating.
Right.
If it didn't do that, what would be the point? Just have a simple rollout and it drop when you want.
Right. Yeah. I mean, most rollouts don't create anything more than a buzz.
Right.
You see what I mean?
This is way past a buzz.
Bruh.
Way past the buzz.
Yeah, this is. I don't even know if there's a. I'm looking for a hyperbolic word.
Yeah.
To top buzz, but I can't think of one. But I think y'all know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, buzz is an understatement for what this man did. But it's an understatement for the people that paid attention. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if it's gonna resonate the way he really wanted it to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it was great. Do I think it was the best execution? You know what I'm saying? Like all that. Do I think it was flawless? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying part of Kanye is to create spectacle.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Part of Kanye is to create spectacle, and he is absolutely creating spectacle. And in every other genre of music, not necessarily every other genre of music, but the most powerful and largest genres of music throughout history, they've been able to create spectacle as a means, you know what I mean, of promotion. All the way up to, Michael Jackson caught his hair on fire, not on purpose, but he was doing a Pepsi commercial. You know what I mean? And if that didn't create spectacle, you know what I mean, for real. So I don't think there's ever been a time in hip hop where we've seen an artist able to create spectacle and excitement the way Kanye is able to do it.
Right. No, we haven't.
Nah.
We haven't. And it's just funny when you say that about him creating spectacle. I just start thinking about every time people thought that he would run out of ideas to make spectacle,
right.
he comes up with another one, right?
Yeah.
You remember one of the first things, not saying whether the comment was sincere or insincere,
right.
It created spectacle. George Bush don't like black people.
That's facts.
Right?
That's facts.
Wearing the MAGA hat.
Yeah.
Meeting with Trump.
Yeah.
Running for president.
Yeah.
Marrying Kardashian.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at the history, they'll rant, 30-minute rant on stage.
Rants. Yeah, exactly.
Talking about Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Like, all, of course, until it leads us to, now, the latest spectacle of continuously dragging out, giving dates, not keeping the promise on those dates, and doing shows in between, giving dates that you already knew you wasn't going to put the project out.
Not coming out.
Yeah.
You know it's not coming out.
All while, and I'll let you fill in on that, all while, because it's a trifecta happen. Yeah. I'm giving dates, which is like giving hope to especially your fans and people that keep anticipation high. I know that I'm not going to, I already know they're not coming out those dates, but I also know I've got shows, because how could you do these elaborate shows and not already have rehearsed and planned, right? So that's going on, but then you have there's a business thing aspect to it going on that makes the trifecta, where dealing with the Gap coat. Yeah. That was which on pre-order immediately. Yeah.
All the merch.
And
speaking of the merch, man, like as soon as the first listening event was over, the next day, not as soon as the next day. I went and looked to see if the merch was out. You know what I mean? And it was. I found a Donda t-shirt with the Mercedes-Benz logo on it. You know what I'm saying? The date down the sleeve, the official merch that the crew was wearing. I found that online on eBay. I found one for $20. And I found one on StockX for $200. So this nigga's merch is available for resale the next day at a skyrocketed price. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's sneaker stuff. You know what I mean? It's funny because his merch and his everything that he's doing is basically having the same effect that his sneakers do. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like, he's transitioned. This is if he was writing his own rhymes, he might be one of the greatest. He might be the greatest of all time. If you talking about accomplishments, you know what I mean? If you adding all of that accomplishments, impact, and all of that into the game, the fact that he didn't write all his rhymes is going to be the only thing that keeps him off of that Mount Rushmore, so to speak. But he made what they say $12 million in this rollout. At least. At least. And you saying the planning. One thing you said about the planning. I don't know how much he had this plan. I think he had the vision plan, and once they let him rock out in Atlanta, he probably went, once he did that first one in Atlanta, he already had Chicago set up. There was no way he wasn't already talking to them in Chicago. Yeah. All right. So first, because you didn't watch all the listeners.
No, but okay, we're gonna, because we just mentioned this stuff and we can go back and unpack it all. But like the stem, come on, that man. Too. When we talk about the business stuff, with the merch and the stem, I just wanted.
Come on, man.
Let's talk about that. We'll go back now. All right.
So you want me to talk about the stem player now?
No.
Oh, we go back to it.
We're gonna come back to it when we get.
Because when I start talking about that stem player, that might be the episode. I don't even know if I can stop myself from. I feel like a kid in Christmas. But if that thing worked, we'll talk about it. If it worked, nigga, if it really works, it's over. Yeah, it's over. All right, so. I'm going to start with the fact that y'all ain't seen Kanye face in like 6 months. You ain't seen his face and you ain't heard his voice. Not live. You might heard his voice on music, but you ain't heard him speak a word and you ain't seen his face in 6 months. This man been wearing a mask. Oh, we all been wearing masks. This man been wearing a mask over his whole Cadillac grill.
He was wearing mask over the mask. Yeah,
like... So that's one.
Yeah.
2, at the first listening event, this man moved into Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And, well, we didn't know he had moved in yet. We just knew he was doing a listening event.
Right.
And, like you said, setting the expectation that an album was coming the next day.
Right.
So, most of us watched that listening event. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, after that listening event, this man decides he's not going to leave. He's going to finish the album in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A week later, throws another listening event. Or was it 2 weeks?
In between, was it? It may have been 2. I thought it was 1.
It might have been 1 between the first 2. You don't remember? All right,
yeah, I don't remember for sure.
Yeah, it might have been 1 or 2 weeks in between listening events. He throws another one. This one, from an artistic level, is 2 to 3 times the magnitude of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, nigga levitates out the middle of the stadium. This shit was crazy.
Where was the second one?
In Atlanta. In his new home. The first 2 was in Atlanta. Yeah, in his new home in the stadium. Album didn't come out again. Now, I know this for a fact. It's 2 weeks later. They say he's going to be in Chicago. Now everybody's like, I don't know if he's actually going to pull this off in Chicago. And then reports that he's having his childhood home rebuilt in the middle of the stadium.
In Soldier Field.
In Soldier Field in Chicago.
Yeah.
Nigga. This nigga built his mama house. Hold on. I want you to understand what I just said. Listen in public. This nigga built his mama house in the middle of Soldier Field in his hometown. The fuck?
This type of, I don't want to call it antics, but this type of happenings is unheard of by any hip hop artist ever historically.
Alan, I started with the nigga ain't showed his face or spoke a word in at least 6 months.
Okay.
All 3 of these events, this nigga ain't showed his face or picked up a microphone and said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you done sold out Mercedes-Benz. You done sold out Mercedes-Benz again. And you done sold out Soldier Field. And Soldier Field, the ticket started at like $100, $200.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't said shit at none of these events.
Yeah.
And you ain't got no album out, nigga.
I know.
This
That's
nigga
what
don't
makes it
have
amazing. He's already lied, right? I'm just being candid. He already lied. He knew he wasn't coming out when he first said it was coming out. People, but it's crazy because I guarantee you, some of the people that came to the first event double back, came back to the next one. The same people, the same crowd.
Alan, I've watched this. It's this group called Watching the Throne.
Mm-hmm.
I sent y'all a video from it. They went and they was online outside the Chicago Donda event. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Live, like just walking up the line, and they was running into people that they met in Atlanta. Mm. You see what I'm saying? Like, like they was running several people that they met in Atlanta. So yeah, people traveled for this. That's you know what I'm saying? There was certain people that's been to all 3.
Yeah, for sure.
That's got merch from all 3.
Mm-hmm.
This man, who you know could have created this in hip hop? Not did it. Who could have? It ain't but 2 or 3 artists that I think of that are black that could have pulled this off in the history of the world.
You said black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Drake have to be one.
I think he could probably pull it off.
Drake, and then the third one, I would say Kendrick. Mm. You said you mean overall.
Pull this off.
Yeah.
I don't know that Drake can go and not say nothing and put a mask on for 6 months and then not put no music out and go. You understand what I'm saying?
Can continuously not put music out.
I don't know if this is Drake
shows.
level. I don't know if he doing this. Yeah. You got to be an artist to pull off shit like this. Right. You see what I'm saying? So he's got to be a black person that's an artist that they cool. That had to wait. Prince could pull some shit like this off. Outside
I'm thinking
of that,
hip hop.
Yeah, I'm thinking
strictly hip hop.
Way bigger. Ain't no hip hop.
No. Yeah, Prince.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which is why he said many times that he was this generation's Prince.
Yeah, and I don't buy it musically. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
But I'm talking about.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah,
I do musically.
I understand.
When I think about what he's done musically, not just his albums and rapping, but other.
Right, but other shit.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
But I feel you.
Prince was an alien.
Yeah, he was.
Artistic, musically, he was an alien. Like,
yeah.
Man. So it's gonna be hard for me to say anybody was doing what that nigga was doing musically. But from a complete package, artist level, impact in the game, if this nigga had pulled some shit like this off in the early 2000s, like pre-internet, do you understand what I'm saying? Imagine the impact it would have. Like the times that we living in, I think it's gonna get lost in the sauce to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But if this was in a particular era, come on, man, this shit stopping the planet.
Yeah.
The planet.
Yeah.
The planet, yo.
What would you say? Would you agree with this? I don't even have a term for it. I don't even know what the term. Right. But what Ye did with his rollout would be the opposite of trolling.
I don't think it was trolling. I don't know if it's the opposite. I think it was one of the more ballsy things you could think to try. You know what I mean? Because I mean, think about it from this. I mean, of course you know somebody gonna show up. You see what I'm saying? But you don't have any music out. You go rent a stadium and ask people to pay to hear you play music that they don't even know exists yet. Yeah. That don't even make sense. That's so
backwards.
That's
how things usually go.
You can't even really it's so ass backwards that I don't think people understand how ridiculous a concept that is.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. The more ridiculous the concept, the more genius it makes him for executing.
For executing it. And not only did he execute it once, he did it 3 times and built on the stage show every time. Yeah. So if you saw him, there's clearly a theme in what he was doing. The first one he was in hell, the second one he was in purgatory, and the last one was, you see what I'm saying? Like, well, the second was kind of heaven on earth, and this one was like, hold on. First one was hell. The second one was heaven, and this one was a mixture of both on earth. The third one, Chicago, was like real life.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what it, like, if you watched them, you can see what was going on. Like, it was the first one, he was obviously in red, and if you saw it, the ring of fire at the top, you know, all that shit, he didn't move. He stayed in that. He stayed on the floor the entire time. You see what I'm saying? By itself, lost. And the next one, he levitated up out that bitch into the light. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's clear what he's doing. Yeah, ascension. Yeah. In the third one, he's trying to save Chicago. He's trying to save here. It ain't just about him.
Yeah.
But in the mixture of it is him losing his wife. But
it's so for me, this is like, you know, like a play.
It's
a dramatic
like
play,
big ass play.
You know what I mean? The first one was like Act 1, second one Act 2.
That's exactly what this is.
Act 3.
It's exactly what this is.
With all the theatrics and dramaticism surrounding it,
right?
And everything that went on, and all the, because I didn't see I only saw the first one,
right?
I didn't look at the second and third one. I looked at various clips and pieces, right? I didn't look all the way through, but from what I can see, it looks just like if you're going to see a play, basically. And we got 3 different acts.
That's exactly.
He just put it on 3 different days instead of all in one night.
Right.
And so it's just, I don't know. To me, he speaks to the true definition of an artist. That's because he's creating art while creating. Every aspect of it is just artistic.
Yeah, this is art on so many levels that you can't really. I'm saying, I think it's gonna get. I don't think it's gonna hold the place, especially today, right? I don't think it's gonna hold the place that it's supposed to, because I think it's so in depth and it's so artsy, for lack of a better word, that most people gonna miss it. You know what I mean? Because people hear listening party and that's what they understand. You know what I mean? But if he'd have told him it's a 3-act thing,
and and each one has a different theme.
That ain't gonna work either. So he did it the way he had. I feel like at least he felt like he had to do it. But that's why I don't know if it's gonna resonate, because it's bigger than what people looking at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think people looking at it from a way too small vantage point.
I actually think the rollout. I think the rollout in all three of these, we call it these 3 acts of this one dramatic theatrical play, right? That is his rollout. I think that is more impactful than the album. I think it's going to be more impactful, more long lasting than the album.
It might be.
I think it's going to stick more with the people than the album will.
It will for the people that saw it.
Right.
That's the catch.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like for the people, especially for the people. Well, I've been watching a whole lot of information on the events themselves. Mm-hmm. Most people that were at the events couldn't hear the vocals.
So
you understand what I'm saying?
No, so damn sure it was kind of like looking at a play then.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? So their experience is gonna be good but skewed, especially by the third one. You know what I mean? Because the third one had obstructed views. It had all types of shit that you had to deal with. You know what I mean? That's how I know it was literally Kanye spewing art, because he didn't think it all the way through. He just found the opportunity. He presented that shit. You know what I mean? Like, he created the opportunities and presented it. But that's Kanye being a living artist. You know, so you're gonna have to deal with the flaws. In today's times, I think people in the world is so cynical that I don't know if it's gonna get rewarded the way that it should because of all of that. You know what I mean? I think it's as great as you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's phenomenal. Was it like flawlessly executed? You know what I mean? Beautifully manicured and all that? Nah.
But see, for me, like that's like some of the beauty in it.
It is. The bravery.
That it wasn't, super polished, super refined and presented.
I think the bravery in it allows it to be that for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the chance, bro.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, him doing this, right?
Yeah. And
selling out all 3 without showing his face for 6 months without saying a word. Right. I think that, to me, is the nail in the coffin between the subtle, not so subtle Kanye and Drake feud. Because if I'm Ye, I'm always gonna be like, my nigga, you can never do what I did. Yeah. You're not bigger or impactful or influential on his culture enough as me to do what I did. Yeah. And I know, or I feel like that I know Drake would concede the point.
And with you saying that, what we dealing with is another, every single time Nas drop, Jay's getting ready to drop the same day or the same week. Because knowing the last time we knew we was getting a Drake product, Kanye dropped 5 albums, 7 songs apiece, right before this nigga came. This time, everybody knows Certified Lover Boy coming. Right. So Kanye comes and sells out 3 stadiums pre-album.
Right.
I don't give a damn what your rollout is, Drake.
Right. And
you understand?
Right. And it's Certified Lover Boy supposed to drop September 3rd, right?
Yeah.
This Friday. That's wild.
This shit
that
crazy.
Is wild.
This shit crazy. But that's one of the reasons you know what I mean? Like, shit like that makes it one of the greatest rollouts. Because you got to put it in the complete context. And it's some hip hop fuckery in that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't just all gospel music.
Right.
There's some hip hop fuckery in there too.
I love it though. But this is funny because this takes us back to when we talk about battles.
Yeah.
Right? When we talked about battles like the Drake and Meek, we talked about losing the actual battle song for song, but then the social media battle, the meme battle, like this is where Kanye winning in all these categories, right?
Yeah.
Because when you look at, like, we saw skits about when you dropping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
September 3rd.
Oh yeah.
No, you don't, Kanye.
He winning this year. He winning this
Yo,
year. Yeah, he winning this year. When it comes to that battle, he winning this year.
Yes.
I don't know what the hell is gonna be on Certified Lover Boy or what this man gonna do, but right now, Kanye is winning that battle.
Yeah.
Yo, but yeah, you right. There's some subversive shit going on.
It
now,
is.
So
yeah.
quick, not really a side piece, but the after he decided he wasn't leaving Atlanta after the first listening party, you know they had the video just on him
For 24 hours
24
running.
hours just
right.
and sleeping, right?
That's another.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the third listening party, right, in Chicago, they went back to the footage of him in that room. That's where he went on fire.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So when he came out the house, he was on fire. But the room that they showed him in when he lit up was the same room from Atlanta. So he tied them all together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just so it definitely was 3 acts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't like it's not a
coincidence.
Nah, it's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely meant to be. And they said that after he got put out, you know what I'm saying, they extinguished the nigga. And, you know, the girl came out in the wedding dress and all that shit. You know who she is?
No.
It's the model that was rumored to be pregnant by Drake earlier this year.
All right, I read that.
Yeah,
so I did read that.
Is wild.
So does that make him even above 50, the king of petty?
Yeah, this nigga the pettiest nigga. This nigga petty king.
Because I remember reading that on IG.
Yeah, this nigga's the petty Don, yo.
Yeah.
Everybody thinking it's Kim under the veil, man.
Right.
This nigga got the girl that is rumored to have been pregnant by Drake earlier this year. You talk about throwing shots. This how this man chooses to use gospel music. This man crazy as hell.
And his the public attention that he garners. This is how he wants.
This how he use it. He crazy, but it's art. Like, he don't give a fuck. He letting it fly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the most artistic way.
Yeah.
Never seen no shit like this before.
Do you think he'll release this as an actual?
No, I don't.
All three things. You don't think he'll release it? I'm thinking releasing it. One, I think he'll do an NFT out of it. But I'm just saying, if you release it as like a 3-part actual play,
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Whatever.
If there were parts of the third one that made me think somebody is capturing this in a really, really beautiful way. You know what I mean? Because it was cut into scenes that was like, okay, if there's a way that they're seeing this in the stadium, then this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? So it may be packaged, but the only reason I don't think it'll play right is because you'll literally be listening to the same songs for 3 hours. Because the songs iterate, but they are the same songs for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know how you make that work listening to the album 3 times back to back.
Yeah.
And of course you listening to the album grow, but I don't know if that's enough visually. That's a long time to sit there. Now you might be able to cut certain pieces. You see what I mean? Like cut and tell the story that way. To package it and make it more of what the album actually is. You know?
Yeah.
I think that could work. So I can see that. But having the whole listening parties played 3 back to back, I don't know that makes for a pleasant viewing experience.
Right.
That's a long time. It's like The Godfather.
Yeah, and even that took intermissions when it released in the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but
I don't know. I hope they do something with it.
Yeah, I just can't see that just going away and be nothing.
Well, it could literally be really ethereal art. You had to be in the moment to get it. If you wasn't,
you missed it.
You missed it. You know?
And he seemed like the type that would do that.
Yeah, because I would. That's some shit I would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll cut some. I had an idea. This is an absolute side note. I had an idea to cut vinyl of music, but not actually cut the vinyl. Just cut the dub plate. You see what I mean? The dub plate is what all the other vinyls are cut from. But if you play the dub plate, it wears faster than the vinyl. It's cheap, that's why they print from it. But if you sell the dub plate, eventually, based on how many times you play it, it's gonna go away.
Out, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you can listen to it. It's like good
Your
wine.
days are numbered.
It's good wine. You only pull this motherfucker out when it's time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ain't gonna drink this with dinner. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You're not just
every
riding
day.
around listening to this. This ain't every day. This ain't every day music.
It's
This
an
is
experience. Every time it comes out, it's experience.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I would do some shit like that. So I can imagine never packaging them shits and it never coming out. You know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this
That
is
makes
also
sense.
Kanye. If it's $1 to be made off them bitches, he gonna make it.
Yeah. All right. So where do you want to go from there? Because I want to bring up the stem, but I already know.
All right.
So
let's talk about the money and then the stem. We'll get to the stem last.
Okay.
The products, all the merch, the Gap coat,
Okay.
the tickets.
Wait a minute. Hotline Bling. If you remember that video, Drake was wearing a red puff coat.
He was. You say it's very possible, yeah. It's very possible. It's very possible.
I kind of remember that being stand out
really
in the video.
was. He really was.
And so I'm thinking about the picture I seen, Ye in the red,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Gap coat.
That's hilarious. That's some shit. Joe Budden said when Drake put out his candle, we should have known Kanye was gonna set himself on fire one day.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So what you saying ain't too far fetched.
Yeah.
I understand that sentiment is
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
You know, like he really
He's
could
a
have.
wild guy.
But okay, so the Yeezys went up 347% in sales.
Do you know that how that sounds to investors and like just people that have stake in that your sales it didn't increase by 40, 50, like what?
Yeah,
347%.
And he didn't put out anything that had Yeezys or Adidas on it.
Right.
Everything he did was completely separate from that, and it made that go up, made Yeezy go up 347%. And then you,
No, I'm just thinking, Evil Genius of Kanye. Do we remember the Sway interview?
How?
Well, he said but he's saying I am this, I am that.
Yeah, he
Right?
said it. Yeah, I am Steve Jobs. I am Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't playing no games.
Yeah.
This boy ain't playing no games, buddy. So that happened. The Gap sold out. Gap coat sold out.
Yeah.
I think the red and the blue
Yeah.
sold out. The Donda merch sold out. 347% increase in sales for Yeezys. That's completely separate from anything music. And then on top of that, this nigga drops a stem player.
That's 200.
That's $200. And it comes with Donda on it.
Yeah.
Right? It comes with the album on it. A stem player. It's like, alright, so public, if y'all don't know what a stem player is, if you don't know what stems are, in the digital age of making music, each track is basically, your tracks are separated into stems. And I can package those stems and send them to an artist or another producer. He can open that package and manipulate the song from inside out. Record on the song, mix it, master it, do all types of things. You know what I mean? So it's basically the raw files. You hear people back in the day recording on reel-to-reels and all that good stuff. It's basically the real. It's what a reel-to-reel was. It's what a DAT tape was. It's the actual product separated into pieces so you can pluck it apart.
Right.
Kanye says he has a device that you can take any song, put it into the device, and break it apart into the individual stems.
And isolate each aspect of the song.
So if your favorite song, you don't like or if there's a song you love and you don't necessarily want to hear it with the words, you could put it into this stem player and take the words off the song.
Just let the music play.
And just let the music play. You could take the drums out of the song and just let the music play without the words or the drums. If y'all ain't never tried to make a beat.
Yeah, I was like, this sound like heaven to producers.
Oh my God. Yo. You know how they had those things that come on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, be like, yo, if you could take $50 million now or $200,000 and go back 20 years. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Give me the 50K and a stem player.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Matter of fact, send me age-wise back 20 years now and leave me today with the stem player in existence and all this digital music technology. And don't give me no money. Leave me dead broke. And take 20 years off my life right now. Like, not off my life, but reverse me, Benjamin Button me 20 years today. Mm-hmm. All us rich.
Yeah.
Everybody. It ain't nothing to talk. Stop going to work. Y'all can stop working today.
Y'all
can stop working today. Because in a couple months, we're going to be hungry for a couple months. But y'all can stop going to work. Fuck it, because I got us. We good. We good. I got this fucking magic stem player, nigga. Like, nigga.
So he not only revolutionized the way rollouts go, but possibly music with the stem player
going forward.
Yeah, with the stem player, with this innovative thought he had to do this stem player, it may revolutionize the way production is made in the future.
It's gonna everything. DJing. Imagine that. DJing, music production, your recording process, fan interaction. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Imagine what'll happen with fan remixes now that they can go in and, you know what I mean? Come on, bro. What?
Endless possibilities.
He's opened up a completely new world of music. And I don't know that most people understand it yet. Most people don't get it yet. But
yeah, if it is what we're saying it is, and it works exactly like saying it works, that stem player is the musical Pandora box.
Yeah, they're gonna
just open up something.
They're gonna find a way to bust Kanye head wide open with copyrights.
Oh yeah.
Somebody gonna get him. I mean, basically what they're gonna do is you know how they said rock and roll make people worship the devil.
Yeah.
And all that good shit. Is they gonna tie, you know, like they gonna make it his fault that all this music got sampled and stolen.
Yeah.
He gave them the tool, but he didn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, another thing, which I know is by design. When you look at the stem player, it's sectioned off. It makes a cross. Looking at.
Yeah.
And you see the volume modules go up and down.
Yeah. And it's got a nice sleek Yeezy shape to it too. You know what I mean? A nice little round. You know. Yeah.
But you know what? I honestly, and this is the overthinking, right? The over analytical. You know, we do. They ain't even no conspiracy theory, but just a deep dive. It's probably just super subjective. But looking at it like a stone or a rock, like the gray. It looked gray or beige, like look like a stone, right? And the way he's always been against the machine was like a true David and Goliath story. Like he's conquering,
casting the stone,
right? Sure. And beating like the machine that he's been raging against for so long.
And aesthetically, it 100% fits into the Yeezy aesthetic, which is when you think about it. Remember what the clothes first looked like when they first came out?
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean? It looked like what we would consider at the time. It looked like homeless people. You know what I mean? But if you really think about what it looked like, it looked like the times. Of Bethlehem. It looked like biblical times. I mean, even the tones and
right,
you know
tones,
what I'm saying? This fits in line with that.
It does.
So when you say the David and Goliath, the stone and all that, I feel like all that shit makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then
I don't think none of it's by mistake.
Right, no, because I think he's way too He's way too much of a thinker and way too artistic,
Right.
not to. Because I know if I was doing all of this, I'm everything means something. Everything has meaning tied to it. Not just gonna do anything at random.
Right. And I definitely don't think he's doing nothing random.
Right.
I don't see that at all. I don't think he's ever been random. I put it to you this way. I think he has random thoughts, but his execution is tied together in an artistic way. So his it ain't random, it's spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. I don't think he's random at all. I think he's absolutely calculated, but he's spontaneous.
Right. But when it comes out, I think that artistically everything is coherently linked together.
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean, that's his natural state.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's his natural state, is to link things together. This is built from that.
Right.
This is built from
Straight
that,
producer.
that. He's a straight producer. That's naturally who he is.
Right.
His personality is kinetic.
Yeah.
And spontaneous. Mm-hmm. So when you see it, he ain't drawing those links for you. He put them there. You supposed to see him. You see what I'm saying? He's not giving you he's not giving you a roadmap. He put it there. It's fly. You see it. Yeah. That's what makes him the level of artist he is. Like, he's operating outside of an industry would never allow for this shit.
Right.
It's too risky. He's operating like a real artist. You know? And
being successful, as we see.
Mega successful.
Yeah. He's damn. I don't know. There won't be another one.
Nah. So to date, like you said, if this is the greatest rollout to date, what do they do if they can't do this over? Because this has been done. What do you do to top this?
And if you can't even do that,
right?
Anyway, most artists wouldn't even be able to do it.
Dare
anyway.
I say the only person that can top it is Kanye?
Yeah.
We won't, and if it ain't Kanye, it'll be another generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean, of hip hop before we get somebody that's able to do this.
Right.
It won't be while Kanye's still relevant, because you're gonna look crazy as hell. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't. I don't think most people are willing to look as crazy as Kanye is willing to look.
No. I don't think. I agree with you. I don't think the average person is enough. I'm talking about even the artists are enough of an artist to subject themselves to this to as much public ridicule as Kanye is willing to suffer, as we see with a bunch of stuff he's said and done.
With this,
right?
Because there's a faction that's ridiculing him, like, yo, stop the bullshit, give us the album,
right? You
know, and there's a faction that I feel like, because they had to deal with what they considered the bullshit, then they're gonna judge the album based on it.
Right. And I'm gonna just be honest, just keeping up with the religious theme of this whole Kanye thing, because I listened to the album, and to me the album is a gospel album. The way I said it is a more extended, better version of Jesus is King.
Okay.
Meaning that the core basis of it is like a godly message, right? A Christian perspective message.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I feel like everything is just better on this.
Yeah, definitely.
But when I looking at Kanye, this whole religious thing that we could be wrong or right about. But like I was saying before, I think we was recording, he wanted it this way.
Yeah.
When you look at okay, we know he calls himself Jesus, like Jesus, to play on that, he did the Jesus walks. This has been going on for a long time, to be honest.
This is not new.
Right. So here's the thing. One of the things about Jesus, when you read in the scripture, his message was so divisive. Yeah. Like what he said, it left people, or some people were saying he was bad, he was working magic, right?
Yeah.
The authorities, the people, the centurions, right? But then the other people that he was blessing and helping, they were like, no, this is a good man.
Right.
Literally, led to his, demise,
yeah,
right?
Sure.
This is what we got with this rollout. You got some people saying, no, he's done.
Yeah.
Kanye canceled.
Yeah.
But you got some people like hardcore fans.
Yeah. that's
rolling with him.
Gonna be at every event,
right?
And then you got people he's actually converting. Now, not necessarily the Christianity,
yeah, I feel what you're saying.
To
his right,
you know
right.
What I mean?
I get
like, it's
so it's funny, and I feel like, which is why he's willing to take these risks. He wants everything he does. I mean, and it makes sense business wise and artistically. Everything you do to be polarizing, it leaves no space for ambiguity.
That's right. That's right.
No, whatever I say, whatever I do is going to be polarizing.
Yeah.
And it's very clear who's supporter and non-supporter.
Yeah.
It is no gray area.
Yeah.
I feel like everything he's doing, saying, and the way he's doing it, it doesn't leave any gray areas.
Yeah. I think musically, I think he was probably better earlier, right?
Yeah.
Artistically, though, I think he became great.
Yeah.
Once he did exactly what you saying. I'm gonna be polarizing because early, like I'm gonna actively be polarizing. If my thoughts is completely different than the average, I'm gonna go with him. You know what I mean? I think he started that with George Bush don't like black people.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that wasn't polarizing enough.
Right. Now it wasn't. Now watch this, because I was gonna make a point about that.
Yeah.
Justin, because he's always been in the fashion, right? But look, when he made that statement, if you remember what he was wearing, could you even imagine him wearing that now?
Hell no.
And see, and that's my point. He was playing it safe.
He was.
He was looking like I look right now.
He was. He really
was.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He was not yet ready to open himself up to the ridicule.
That's a
and
fact,
the public the overly.
That's a fact.
Critiquing of the public. Yeah. Like the early days, he was still backpacks, polos, polo hats. Like he was not branched out into his extreme artistic expression yet.
He was outside. He was fringe when it came to hip hop.
Right.
But when it came to society, he was. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now at this point, he's completely outside of everything. He grew to he's over here, polarized. He's a pendulum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That motherfucker, wild boy. And you ain't seen no shit like this in hip hop, bro.
Right, and that's what and all of what we saying is just, to me, what speaks to the absolute genius.
Yeah. This is one of those situations where it's gonna make it really tough. Back to you. When you were speaking about Kanye and Drake, on scale, right? It's gonna make it. Yes, Drake just won Artist of the Decade at the Billboard Awards. You know what I mean? I get it, but it's gonna be real hard when you. This is a real Michael Jackson Prince conversation,
right?
This might sound like blasphemy, but if you take Michael Jackson and Prince and drop them in today's time, this is the shit you're dealing with. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Mike was a performer. Mike was an artist, but he was a performer, a showman. You see what I'm saying? Prince was a fucking artist. And he was serious about his fucking art. Mike rose to ascension when you talk about record sales, you know what I mean? Popularity, world impact, all of that. Same way Drake did. Child star, same way Drake was. You see what I'm saying? But Prince got the respect, and he laid it on the line artistically every time. You do not fuck with his art. Yeah. That's Kanye. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? He gonna say some subversive shit. He gonna do some shit that you think is absolutely left. Prince wrote slave on his face. Niggas thought he was crazy. Changed his name to the sign. You know what I mean? Yeah. People thought he was out of his mind. He wasn't. He was right the whole time.
Right the whole time. All this, and yeah. And then when you go back, it was funny because how I referenced back the Sway interview. When you go back and look at all those Prince interviews leading up to, all the way up to when he passed. I mean, he's saying some of the same stuff. Yeah. He's saying specifically dealing with the music industry. Yeah. Right. And like it's so many parallels. I'm glad you brought that up, because even though on the surface, if you was to read that, you'd be like,
get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
But explained and laid out, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. And even the cattiness and the pettiness.
Right, because we heard those stories about Michael and Prince.
Nigga, if they'd have had Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, man, come on, bro.
Yeah.
They'd have been at each other necks,
Yeah.
man. But these dudes, I say all that to say, there's no one from hip hop. I'm gonna say it again, that you could even think could pull this off.
Right. Nah.
It's not even possible.
Like even the greats that we talking about, even the greats that'll come up in conversation from Drake to Kendrick to Cole, none of them are willing to go.
Right.
And I can't really speak, but I don't feel like any of them are willing to go this far. Or have the mind to do it, or artistic insight. I don't feel like, and especially not. And this is not to say like it's not a knock or anything, but I'm just saying, Cole and Drake definitely. I don't feel like will push himself
Kendrick
artistically this far.
Right.
The closest may be like Kendrick, just based on some of the things we've seen him do.
Right. Now, this is something I wanted to get to that we spoke about when we trashed Jesus as King on this show.
That's right.
Right? And I think we spoke on that show that about Kanye's trajectory.
We did.
You know what I mean? And I think I said, this is how I remember feeling, that if he stays in this lane and he's true,
I remember,
to his faith, then musically I think he'll be okay. Hopefully he'll eventually be able to get back to, as long as he's able to stay this course. Or did I say it the opposite? If he stayed his course, then I don't know if he ever gonna be able to get back to the music.
You said so. The second part.
Mm-hmm.
If he stayed this course, you don't know if he'll ever be able to get back to the music the way he used to do it. Right? You said that's if he's true to this whole change. I'm only doing gospel music.
That's what I said.
Right. Now you said, but there was the flip part. But you was like, if he's not true, right, and because he is so predictable, we don't kind of know what's real and what's not real with him. Sometimes you said he could be back to doing regular music, secular hip hop. Right.
Yep. So I'm happy to say I was wrong. We write a lot on this show.
We write a lot, but the funny thing, you're wrong, right? Because you was wrong, but you was right because we didn't know, right? So, but
he stayed on it.
But he stayed on it. But you were right in the sense that he's not. It didn't go back.
Right, he didn't go
musically.
Back. Right,
he has not went back to. Not, this album doesn't sound anything like any of the previous projects that we know of when we talk about Ye music. Right, it doesn't sound like Late Registration, College Dropout, Life of Pablo. Was it My Dark Twisted Fantasy? All of those albums, I can hear Kanye, his typical Kanye stamp. Right, musical stamp in those albums.
This album don't really have that.
It doesn't have that.
Yeah, it don't. It's got inflections of other Kanye albums, but not really inflections of those.
Right.
The closest inflections it's got of those, and maybe Flashing Lights and Good Life. You can hear flashes of that on this album in a couple places.
Yeah.
But it's not that typical Kanye stamp.
Yeah.
At all. And so he didn't go back.
Right.
He didn't go back. And I didn't think he would if he stayed with gospel music.
Right. He did stay with gospel music and he did not go
back. But
I
also didn't think he would be able to create good music if he stayed with gospel music.
Right.
And that part I was wrong about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because he definitely created some good music. And in this album, I feel like it's a lot like Blueprint 2.
That's funny enough. I understand that.
Yeah, if you take some shits off of this, motherfucker might be a classic.
Yeah.
But it's too many songs. It's gonna be some things on here that I don't need. But if you take them off, the shit that works.
Yeah, the stuff that works. That's I agree. I'm gonna just put this out there, just because my favorite song on this project is "Believe What I Say." And that joint, he just sings the whole time, but it's the joint that's chopped up Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's another. Did you catch the dig on that one too? Who's the last person to chop that? Nice for what, nigga? Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a lot
boy
of
playing games, boy.
Yo.
This boy here playing games, boy. That's the first joint I played from the album today. When I played it, when I decided I was gonna listen to it, that's the first joint I played. Cause I heard it at the listening party and was like, oh, that shit hit crazy.
Yeah.
This shit hit crazy. Like this flashing lights, but not. You know what I mean? This shit fire. Yeah, that shit dope.
Which is super side note. I hope we get some new music from Lauryn Hill. We heard her on Nas.
Yeah.
Getting this chop. I'm hoping we hear something.
Okay, to add on to that side note, did you see the quick Nas clip where they was asking him? People were telling him how surprised they were about Lauryn being on the album. No. And he said he mentioned it to Lauryn. She was like, "Wow, we was just on tour together for like a whole year. I forgot we went to that fucking tour. Me and you."
Oh, for the article?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Nas Lauryn Hill tour.
Yeah, that was.
So it's not so fucking crazy that she was on that album. We just didn't stay for Lauryn.
Yeah, we did.
Or was that Erykah Badu?
No, Erykah Badu. Erykah, because remember, we was there for Erykah Badu. So at Article, Erykah Badu performed, Nas performed.
Yeah. So maybe we didn't catch that shit.
Yeah. So if we did, we didn't catch that.
Yeah, that was Erykah Badu.
Yeah, I don't even know. I can't remember honestly if he even performed "If I Rule the World" at that show. I don't even remember. I can tell you he didn't perform. Shit off. He
performed shit off Nasir.
He ain't performed nothing off Nasir but one song.
Nothing. This was Kanye dark years, nigga. That was a dark year for Kanye. Yo. That whole year, but that album, that shit was trash.
Yeah.
That shit was trash, nigga.
Yeah, do you know how it's so funny? Just randomly, and I'm bringing his name up because he be like staying connected still to the street.
Yeah.
You know how tight, upset Jungle would be if he like seen this podcast.
Man, we have to fight that nigga. We have to fight that nigga, boy. Hey, but hey. He redeemed himself.
He did.
With 2 king diseases. You know what I mean? He redeemed himself.
Surprise.
So I was surprised too. I like what Nas is right now. I know this is a hell of a sidebar, but I like what Nas is right now. He's not trying too hard.
Right. And I respect that.
Yeah.
He's not trying too hard.
Yeah.
I know I'm never going to get skies of misty like my life predicted by a gypsy out when they walk in the shots drunk of champagne from Sicily. I already know I'm never getting that kind of Nas no more. Yeah. Right? But what he is doing and not trying so hard, and like he's making good albums.
Yep.
So I'm happy for him because he's making good albums, even though it's a Nas that, you know what I mean, personally for our own selfish reasons, a particular type of Nas in a particular pocket of rhyming I know I won't get it, but I'm happy to see his just evolution through hip hop and his growth and where he is now. Yeah, like I mean, I can understand why he is doing music, how he's doing it, and you can't be mad at it because it's coming out good.
Absolutely, coming out great.
Yeah,
it's coming out great.
Yeah, so
and if he was doing it, if he was trying to do the other shit, I don't think it would come out great. You know what I mean? I don't think it would. So
yeah,
I'm happy with what he's doing.
Yeah,
happy with what he's doing. But back to Kanye. All right, so back to Kanye. I know that was a hell of a sidebar.
Yeah.
Greatest rollout of all time. We
to date. But and we just saying that being safe because really I don't see any hip hop artist topping this.
Nah, hell nah.
Or artists in general. And it's, you know what's funny is a lot of the other genres. I mean, I've never heard of Vivaldi rollout. Like, I mean, or any classical artist, like that puts out, like I'm talking about, like new classical composers. Like, I never heard of a rollout for their music compositions when they come out, or any other genre. We don't really get rollouts. I think more of maybe pop.
Yeah, but even that is typical record label.
And I can't even really call it. Yeah, that's so. To be honest, we can't even call that a rollout. That's just promotion.
Exactly.
That's just album promotion. It's not even a rollout.
Exactly. So there's a difference between rollout and album promotion. Yeah. 444 had a rollout.
Yeah.
You know, Yeezus had a rollout, but it was subversive as fuck. You know what I mean? Like it was absolutely anti everything. Pablo had a rollout.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dark Twisted Fantasy had a rollout as much as it did a lead up. Because you know they was doing Good Fridays for a long time before. So they was putting out music every Friday. It was just the whole Rosewood era. But when it was time for the music to come, it was basically just music videos and you know what I mean, like normal. It wasn't anything crazy.
Right.
Can't really think of any Drake rollouts that I would consider a rollout.
Yeah, not an official rollout. No.
Right. Was 50 a rollout? 50 Kanye was a rollout.
Yeah, 50 Kanye was a rollout.
50 Kanye, that was a rollout.
Yeah.
But just thinking of some of the most impactful ones, the most memorable ones, this blows them shits out the water.
Oh yeah, yeah, easy. It's not even in comparison.
Easy.
So.
Yeah, so it's to date. This is definitely the greatest rollout of all time. Whether you like the album or not, this ain't got nothing to do with that. Even though we discussed the album a little, but
you know how this is how you can gauge. I think you can gauge like the influence and pull an artists have. The average other artist cannot switch the date 2-3 times and the people still be waiting for it and sell out shows in between given dates, not fulfilling those dates.
Sell out
that
shows
is
not
insane.
Saying nothing.
Right. Or showing your face.
Or showing your face. He sold out. That's the part that he sold out shows with no music while lying to his fans. And didn't say a fucking word and didn't show his face. I don't know that you have to know any more information than that,
right?
To know that this is the greatest rollout of all time.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there's more information in
right,
that.
Right. And you know what's so crazy is we just talking about how backwards this is. Generally, people are excited to come to your show to see you perform music they already heard that they know that is out.
That's my point.
You don't know what you're coming to even hear. So
Okay,
it's saying something about Kanye, which is why the brand went up the Yeezys went up 347%. He didn't do nothing new with the design.
Yeah.
It's all based off of his antics and theatrics.
Yep. His creating a spectacle. And you said, just to reiterate, because I know we done beat this point home, but typically people pay money to see an artist perform songs they know. Right? In Kanye's situation, they paid to not hear him perform shit.
Sounds so.
And it's songs they had never heard. Do you see what I'm saying? That's crazy.
This is like you paying for a product and you never getting your product.
Ever. You get to see it. That's like going to the store and buying a shirt and being able to see it, hold it, try it on, and got to leave that bitch in the store and go home, but you don't ever get to wear it outside.
Yeah. It's the concept of how you did this.
But the shirt fire.
Yeah.
And next week we're gonna show you a different version of that motherfucker.
That you can't take with you again.
You can't take home. You know what I mean? And then in 2 weeks we're gonna build a house inside that motherfucker.
Yo.
You know? So yeah, man. I don't know. You think we did enough? You think we gave this rollout enough praise? Because I don't think everybody gonna do it. He needed an hour of praise.
Yeah. No, I think we covered it.
Yeah, I feel like we did. I feel like we did too. Alright, so this episode was sponsored by 101 Boutique, downtown Raleigh. Throw them the address because you better at that than I am. I always fuck it up. It's 207
East Cabarrus Street, downtown Raleigh, North Carolina.
Near Lincoln Theater. If you know where Lincoln Theater is, you know where 101 is. Come holler at us.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the limited edition Wu-Tang Clan merch.
It's coming.
We
listen,
got
Wu-Tang Clan merch is like Jay Electronica album coming.
It's like Kanye listening.
It took him a decade.
It's coming. You gonna get it. This is like a listening party for the merch.
Yeah. And we like what 160 some listening parties in.
Right.
Still haven't dropped it.
That's right. We still ain't dropped the merch, but it's coming. You know what I mean? Like my cousin that worked the camera and stuff for us, she shaking her head. No, she don't believe in us. I'm like, damn, she lost faith in Kanye. She done lost faith in us. But nah, salute Faith too for helping us out. Yeah. Cousin Faith in the cut. But Shoot, yeah. Engage with this video too. Subscribe, like it, share it, leave a comment. Just play with the algorithm for us. Pause. Yeah, and with that being said, I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This was not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely was not. This is a podcast about hip hop. Make room for the tag.
Conversate for a few.
Hustle, welcome, man, they had to send me. Hustle from Raleigh, live from NC with your hosts, John and Alan. Relate to the two, you are now listening to Conversate for a few. Check it on SoundCloud, debate with your crew. They talking hip-hop from the late to the new. From July till June end, no Fridays for me, tune in. Please listen to this podcast. 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 Please listen to this podcast.